Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up, we learn a few tips on how to stay fit and healthy during the Lunar New Year holiday. Tzu Chi's Humanitarian Center and Tzu Chi hospitals across Taiwan extend their well wishes to Master Cheng Yen. And Jinxing village residents bring back nearly extinct farming crops to revive their community after Typhoon Morakot. Part of the tradition of the Chinese New Year's is for families to reunite and enjoy meals together. However, as some people put on extra weight during this time, today we're going to introduce two New Year's dishes which are not only easy to make but healthy as well.
Today is the second day of the Lunar New Year, so I would like to wish everyone a Happy New Year. I would also like to introduce two New Year's dishes, both of which you will find to be healthy and delicious.
Seasoning includes salt, flour, and pepper, and the main ingredients are carrots, celery, and cooked peanuts. First, blend and filter the raw peanuts, keeping the leftover residue. Next, after rinsing the carrots and celery, no peeling is required before chopping them into cubes.
We add a bit of diced celery to bring out the taste. Color-wise, the diced carrots will do.
The main ingredient is the peanut residue. Add flour and seasoning as well as the remaining ingredients, then mix equally. Take out a small handful, mold it into palm size, and it is ready to be pan-fried.
We need to let it simmer because all the ingredients are raw. For a golden color, we have to cook it under a small flame.
When both sides are golden crispy, the New Year's cake is ready to be dished up. However, before we dig in, there is another New Year dish to learn. Seasoning includes salt and plum vinegar. Main ingredients are carrots, bean sprout, and broccoli.
You can eat this part of the broccoli too. Just slice it into thinner pieces.
Broccoli stems are often thrown away as kitchen waste, but here, after slicing it and adding some salt, it can be used as part of another dish. Next, add bean sprouts and carrots to the salted water to be boiled. Once cooked, they are ready to be taken out of the pot.
Plum-flavored vinegar tastes both sweet and sour, so we only need to add this as a seasoning.
Boiled broccoli and small tomatoes can be used as garnish. As you can see, the two New Year's dishes are easy to prepare, and you'll be amazed at how good they taste.
According to the Ministry of Health and Welfare, 40% of Taiwanese tends to gain an average of 1.7 kilograms during the Lunar New Year holiday. In our next report, let's learn a few tips on how to enjoy the holiday in a healthy manner.
During the Chinese New Year, many people tend to indulge in too much food. In addition, seeing the profit that can be generated during the holidays, many stores have set-up booths filled with Chinese New Year treats. Did you know that most of the Chinese New Year treats are high in calories? Let's take this Taiwanese rice treat as an example. A serving is 510 calories, while a bowl of rice is only 280 calories.
The reason why Taiwanese rice treats are high in calories is because they are made with a large amount of more sugar and have to be deep fried.
Another popular treat that is consumed during the holidays are nuts such as pistachios and cashews. Looking at this spoonful of oil, many don't even dare to consume it. But did you know that this amount of oil is equivalent to the amount found in 15 cashews or 30 pistachios? Although experts suggest that nuts can prevent heart disease, if excessive amounts are consumed, it can eventually lead to heart problems.
Nuts are good for patients with heart diseases, but if excessive amounts are consumed or if the oil used during cooking is not restricted, this can lead to health problems.
Furthermore, for those suffering from high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or high blood sugar, extra caution is required.
When we talk about high blood pressure, products that everyone should be aware of are soy sauce or pickle products. Pickle food tends to be high in sodium, so it may lead to an increase in blood pressure.
When cooking hot pot broth, the best way is to use vegetables as the base. The fiber in the vegetables will not only increase satiety, but also the sweetness of the soup.
高汤火锅，但是高汤火锅这个部分的本身对于那个
People should avoid drinking hot pot broth because it is high in sodium.
As hot pot dipping sauce is also high in calories, the correct way to eat hot pot is to consume the vegetable first and only use a small amount of sauce. Furthermore, one should avoid reheating leftovers because it will increase the sodium level, causing harm to our kidneys.
Next, let's learn some exercises that can keep us fit during the Chinese New Year holidays.
Enjoying the holidays by sitting in front of the TV for hours seems relaxing. However, it can lead to spinal problems if we are not careful.
When we sit like this for a long time, it will add pressure to our spine and may lead to problems such as degradation or inflammation of the spine.
When watching TV or movies for a long period of time, people tend to lift their chin, thus causing tension in the muscles of the neck.
When we sit in the same spot for too long, we tend to lift our chin. The first thing to do is to push our chin back in. Keep your hand still and put your two arms behind your head.
Who says you have to go to the gym to exercise? A chair at home is enough. Firstly, sit straight up on the chair and lean back. Secondly, use two hands to hold onto the bottom of the chair. Lift one hand and push your head slightly to the other side and stay in this position for 3 seconds and then switch sides. Furthermore, after eating too much during the holidays, many tend to have digestive problems. To help, the easiest way is to massage your stomach.
从我们的右下边
Push lightly from the bottom right and up. Next, move clockwise until you reach the bottom left around the bladder.
然后再一直慢慢的
To improve digestion, one can simply massage the stomach or use a warm compress. However, the best way to lose those extra calories is still exercise.
To mark the Year of the Horse, staff members of the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center in Guangzhou extended their New Year's greeting to Master Cheng Yen through a video conference call. As well, medical staff from the Tzu Chi Hospital across the island took time to see off the past year. But first, let's take a look at how medical staff of the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital have shown their determination to pass the medical center accreditation schedule for next year. To celebrate the Lunar New Year, medical staff of the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital joined in a staged performance as their collective goal for the year to come is to pass the medical center accreditation.
I wish all living beings happiness and a life free from disasters.
In the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, the medical staff joined in a martial art performance to welcome in the new year. Through the martial art exhibit, the medical staff from over 20 departments demonstrate their team spirit. Staff from Daling Tzu Chi Hospital showcased their creativity to mark the Lunar New Year.
身体无爽快，心情歹，介绍你一贴良药，较紧去大拿治这病，有效。
Doctors record a lighthearted clip to teach members of the public how to keep healthy. In 2013, Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital passed the medical center accreditation for the 5th time.
7家医院呢都能够跟
I hope the 7 Tzu Chi hospitals across the island will continue to carry out medical humanitarianism in the years to come.
Thanks to Tzu Chi medical staff's collective efforts over the past year, members of the public can enjoy medical service with Tzu Chi's humanitarian twist in the year ahead. Also extending their New Year's blessings to Master Cheng Yen are staff members of the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center, who vowed to continue their effort in spreading love and compassion across the globe.
I wish everyone a happy new year and a prosperous future. During this chaotic time with so many disasters around the world, we human beings need to cultivate our own wisdom and care for those in greater need with a compassionate heart.
The ITV CEO Tang Jianming points to the news that Taiwanese chose fake as the word of 2013, reflecting a climate of mistrust in society. Thus, Master Cheng Yen hopes that the ITV will keep up its efforts.
人文就是呢，要守护慧命啊，让慧命呢清净无染。 这都是我们的使命哦。
Seeing off the old year, staff members of Dai TV vow to shoulder the responsibility to continue to spread Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit across the globe. Prior to the Lunar New Year, Tzu Chi volunteers at the Tzu Chi recycling station in Zhanghua decided to hold a charity sale to sell secondhand items, with all proceeds going to Daai TV. Meanwhile, recycling volunteers in Banqiao showed their commitment to Tzu Chi recycling missions.
In just 4 hours, 3 trucks of recyclables were collected. Let's rewind to see how volunteers gathered them all together. At their first stop, volunteers are picking out useful items from a pile of garbage.
Yes, a lot. Households are throwing away their unused items.
Next, recycling volunteers go to a community-based recycling point where they loaded a bounty of recyclables onto the truck. At their last stop, they arrive at a shopping district and a government agency to collect unused items. Back in Banqiao's Xiangse recycling station, another group of recycling volunteers are busy categorizing recyclable items.
After long hours of hard work, our hands are weaker, yet our hearts are still full of strength.
Showing their dedication to Tzu Chi's recycling mission, these volunteers say they will soon be back to work on the first day of the Lunar New Year. In central Taiwan's Zhanghua, recycling trucks deliver recyclables to the recycling station.
The amount of recyclables is unbelievable. Normally we can finish our work in the morning, but now we need to work in the afternoon too.
Households have cleared away a large amount of garbage. Residents can even be seen personally bringing their recyclables for recycling.
Some broken home appliances and cardboard.
In piles of recyclables, volunteers find some usable items.
This toaster is good in shape. We'll give it to someone who needs it. Check this out. The packaging is intact. The earphones inside are new.
This water bottle is brand new. Some of the home appliances are still usable after repair.
We want to give these unused items a second lease on life and give them to someone who needs them.
Therefore, recycling volunteers plan to hold a charity sale with these second-hand items.
The items here are cheaper. We can help reduce excessive waste.
86-year-old Mrs. Yang has been unable to move around easily following her knee surgery, so she bought an electric car at the recycling station.
I'm satisfied with the second-hand items here. The volunteers are nice to me. They take care of seniors like me.
Through Volunteer Second-Hand Items campaign, everyone can take part in safeguarding our environment.
In Tainan, Taiwan, Mr. Chen's mother, sister, and brother all suffer from cerebellar atrophy, and the responsibility of taking care of his family has fallen solely on his shoulder. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers were there to help him through it all. Now seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, Mr. Chen counts his blessings instead of woes. Doing the same routine for the past 10 years, Tzu Chi Care recipient Mr. Chen takes care of his mother who suffers from cerebellar atrophy. Knowing his 2 siblings also suffer from the same condition has added to Mr. Chen's stress, thus affecting his mental health.
At my worst, the psychiatrists wrote that I had suicidal tendencies on my prescriptions.
Understanding of Mr. Chen's woes, Tzu Chi volunteers have long been by his side comforting him. Volunteers later realized Mr. Chen's greatest worry is his brother and sister. Thus, volunteers encourages them to practice recycling, much like Huang Boyuan, who also suffers from the same disease.
At first, I was afraid that people might laugh at me. Then I asked Mr. Chen, why don't you come find me at the Tzu Chi grounds, and we can work together.
It has helped my body. My mobility has improved.
Seeing improvements in his brother and sister, Mr. Chen's mental health has also improved. Looking at the problem from a different angle, Mr. Chen is thankful for all the life lesson he has learned. In Kaohsiung, the 8.8 floods damaged a small community named Jinxing, forcing 2/3 of the residents to move away in the aftermath. However, those who stayed behind were determined to revive the community. This morning, a few of Kaohsiung's Jinxing residents are visiting a newly built bamboo hut. In the picture is a community elder who everyone affectionately calls Grandma Crocodile. This weekend, Grandma Crocodile is having a great time, as many old friends have come back to visit. This community has not been this festive for a while, as the town almost disappeared a while back.
直升机进入山区，放眼所及全是土黄色的泥流，看不到村落，甚至。
Located in the mountains, the residents of Jinxing faced massive rock slides during the 8.8 floods. Afterwards, the possibility for further landslides was a concern for the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau.
There's still a possibility for fragmentary landslides. If it rains too heavily, rocks will tumble, and this could be another disaster waiting to happen.
Thus, if a typhoon hits the area, residents would be forced to evacuate. And it's this type of uncertainty that has caused 2/3 of the residents to move away.
We have about 30 households left, around 100 residents, but some people's thinking is that they want their last days to be where they were born.
Grandma Crocodile is one who shares that thinking. She shows off her plot of land where she grows upland rice, a farming crop that has been lost to the Pingpu tribe for some 20 years.
Our generation owner had to plant these. We need to pass it on to the next generation.
We have a sense of duty to pass on what our ancestors left us to the next generation. It can't disappear with us. So if we revive our cultural industries, then when the young return, they will have a source of income waiting for them.
Jinxing community has continued the agricultural life of Taiwan as the older generation strives to improve economic opportunities. Growing alongside the upland rice is rami, which is also a nearly extinct crop. Rami is tough, just like the residents of Jinxing, who have fought to keep their roots firmly in their hometown. Besides reviving traditional farming crops, residents here have also sought government and institutional support to help them showcase their creativity. The community has since gained a renewed sense of life, and the weekends are filled with people returning to their hometown to reconnect.
If the 8.8 flood didn't happen, we would not have realized the value of our hometown. Now others who have moved away know we are promoting this community, so they might consider coming back to do their part of maintaining it.
Although it's difficult to gather all the resources needed to revive a community, culture has been the glue that binds everyone together, as all fight to bring back a better and stronger tomorrow. As Typhoon Haiyan left widespread devastation throughout Central Philippines, Tzu Chi's implementation of its cash reward program has assisted many families in the rebuilding process. Now, 2 months after the typhoon, the ITV reporters returned to Tacloban and saw how residents there have found hope and stability thanks to the help of Tzu Chi.
After many twists and turns, what lies at the end of every tunnel is an opportunity. 37-year-old Leonisa has just returned from the market with goods for her store, a small business she started after the typhoon. With job opportunities rare in the mountains, grocery store business is the most common here. It costs around 5,000 pesos to start up a business, and with prices skyrocketing after the typhoon, business has been difficult.
Yung kopi ko nga dati, 46 lang.
A strand of instant coffee packs was 46 pesos before. Now it costs 75 pesos. Even the prices of smaller items have gone up.
The small business was started by Leonisa and her husband after having saved up enough money from Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program. The monetary support has brought them a sense of security and hope for the future.
Dumating yung Tzu Chi Foundation.
I am thankful for the Tzu Chi Foundation. I am thinking to use the money to expand my store so I could better sustain our livelihood.
Para hindi mawala.
All 146 households here in Tacloban City's Barangay 103A fell victim to Typhoon Yen's destruction. Traveling deeper into the mountains, we came across the Balmes couple, whose home stands in the center of a field.
This is the work which my father-in-law left us. He has passed on, so now we have to take it over.
The Balmes have to wait 4 months before they receive money from their rice harvest, after which they will use the money to purchase more seedlings. The family has been content with this way of life until Yen took away their belongings in its wake.
Wala po. Kaya nga po nagpaplano kami bumili ng yero at saka pako para gawin natin.
Wanting to have a sturdy home but lacking in means, the Balmes used whatever materials they could find. After hearing of Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program, Adelpha immediately signed up. She later purchased 2 bags of seedlings with a 3-day pay. The Balmes couple said that Tzu Chi's compensation of 500 pesos a day was a great help for them. Never did they imagine that there were those who were willing to help them without expecting anything in return.
These are tears of happiness because you came here to help us. Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation. Thank you, Master Cheng Yen.
I am thankful to Tzu Chi, not only for helping us, but all of Tacloban.
Within a month's time, Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program has helped 280,000 residents store a semblance of their previous lives.
Tzu Chi Foundation is the only foundation I know that's giving outright cash to the people. And that will also help jumpstart the economy, the local economy, and it will also now give the people some sense of security.
With hope in their hearts, residents of Tacloban will be sure to see the calm after the storm.
At the end of the show, we go to Malaysia and show you how students of Kuala Lumpur's Daai Kindergarten celebrated the Lunar New Year. Some children tried their hand at writing spring couplets, while others made chocolates to express their gratitude to their teachers. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. See you next week.